Hey, good morning, tribe. I'm with Dr. Naota Hashimoto, who puts together an amazing software program that plugs into other existing EHR programs to really help you have your finger on the pulse of your practice. Because look, if you're not keeping track of stats, you're not keeping score, you don't know if you're winning or losing. And most of our EHR systems just do not check all the boxes on the behind the scenes, communicating with our patients, with text and emails, and keeping up with the scheduling and stuff. We usually need another plug and play thing because they're just not robust enough to do everything in one thing. There's just no software out there that's an all-in-one that really does it all. And so you need some support. And his program is amazing. I wanted to ask him a few hot questions on how it works and why it is so helpful on helping docs track stats better so they know how they're doing in practice. So please, Doc, share a little bit with us on how you came up with the idea of this first.
Just severe pain. That's kind of how it started. I was naive enough to think that it was easier to build the software. But yeah, like we had a good sized practice. We were doing like three and a half. We did four some years, but like 3.3 to 3.6 is like pretty typical. 3.3
You're talking
was
millions here.
millions. So like we did have some extra cash flow with that. And then we had PT. PTA, medical, like an MD and like a physician assistant and a couple chiropractors. And we even did acupuncture for a while. And yeah, like, we weren't a big PI clinic, but like, yeah, we get like 10 to 25 new ones a month, which is the most that we can handle. And then we
And
had
that's a
like a
lot.
very healthy cash practice. And then, yeah, so it started there. And then I actually had a marketing company where we did like 100 seminars a month on a slow month, like a December or a July, but like most months, 150, 200 seminars a month.
Mhm.
And that was a good business. And we ended up hiring a developer in that business. And at the time, we had ChiroTouch, we had 7 spreadsheets, we had a stat tracking software, we had a texting software, nothing talked to each other. We had people literally spending probably 15 to 30 minutes a day, depending on the day of the week, just filling in like a stat sheet. And
Mhm.
then we had like them filling out like these patient tracking sheets. So like that was a big pain in the butt. And then we did a fair amount of PI. And one of the things that we did in our practice is we had this treatment plan tracker. It was also good for our cash ones. And we just wanted to make sure everyone that started a treatment plan finished a treatment plan. And then we also wanted to make sure our PIs were making it in at least once a week. Our goal was 3 times a week, but like anyone that's done a bit of PI knows that it's a little bit of adult babysitting. So
Yeah.
like we had that, and then we had like this PI spreadsheet that we used to make in our practice, which probably took the person minimum an hour a week, right? Because they had to go through all of our cases, right? So like if we're getting like say 15, 20 new ones in a month, you're treating them for a few months, that spreadsheet gets bigger and they had to literally go into every single person's ledger, see what the balance was, see where they're at on visits. And we had this on a spreadsheet and then just we had regular calls with attorneys that referred us cases and just kind of going through and letting them know kind of like what's going on with each of the cases. And the attorneys that we work with really like that. Like they didn't pull the strings, but we work with them as partners, right? Like if someone didn't need an epidural, I'm not going to send them out for an epidural and stuff like that. But like obviously, like if they had a good accident with good coverage, right? We'd get MRI, get objective findings, getting them over to ortho right away, getting them over to pain. And it was a lot of moving parts, and that's kind of how it started. We had a couple of KPIs and a couple of patients. We didn't have a name for it. We called it the tracker thingy. And eventually, like we decided to come up with a name called TrackStat because we're tracking stats, tracking patients, tracking employees, right? Because we wanted to see their work. And over there, it just evolved over the years. And then when COVID happened, I had all this free time. And then the business I was thinking about starting for a year and a half that we already partially started, we just kind of went in there and added reminders, scheduling, mobile apps, AI, and a bunch of other things. So it's evolved a lot from there.
Well, I was checking out a Parker, and I don't want to put down any of the other ones out there, but comparing to the other ones, it just seemed like yours was more robust. Just it was like on steroids at how it helped with a lot of things other plug and play softwares are doing, but you had so much more power tools in there, including that stats and tracking your PI patients and stuff. I was like, wow, this is amazing. So,
like I think our advantage is my wife and I, like we're just really good translators, right? If you look at all of the other products out there, they're built by engineers that never actually practiced, right?
good
They'll have a
point.
product manager that never worked in a practice. And, I have these conversations with our engineers all the time, and our CTO doesn't like my joke. Like, he's like, well, you forgot the V in the minimal viable product, right? They built an
Mhm.
MP, minimal product instead of a minimal viable. So like, well, so like, but like they've never practiced. They don't understand that, okay, if I have to do 5 clicks over here and I'm a front desk, that's a big deal. Like we could just create like some logic steps where we just avoid those taking it from 5 clicks to no clicks or 5 clicks to 2 clicks. And all of those things matter. And then just
Yes.
making things a lot more efficient. Like just following up with, like someone that's missed an appointment, right? There's a lot of systems that will reach out to a patient automatically, just like we will. And I'm not naive enough to think that everyone's going to respond to an AI call or like an auto text, right? So, like, we'll give people a workflow of the people that haven't responded, and then we make it easy where they could communicate, they could schedule, add a note, or remove them from the list all in one spot. And then the final piece of it, we have accountability, like a rescheduling, right? So, like, the premise of the software is like your EHR is just a bunch of static data, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to take action, you have to run a report, and then you have to do that. So we want to just take that static data and we want to make it actionable. So we'll throw automation first. Now we're doing a lot more stuff with AI, and then we follow up with a workflow for the non-responders, and we follow up with accountability. And if you stack all three of those things together, that's going to easily get any practice another 10 to 20% in profitability.
There you go. I love it. It's math, people. This is good stuff. When you're keeping score, you're gonna make more. It's how it works. Wow, what a great tool that you've created, and I hope the docs take advantage of it. I just want to point out that I kind of started with this having the right EHR system and having the right plug-in system to help keep track of your stats. They don't cost you money; they make you money. They save you money and make you money. So the ROI is there. I'm looking at this going, wow, I used to watch Savannah spend hours putting these stats together for us each month. She was so good at it. And I look at it and go, wow, if she had this, that would have saved her hours of time, which would have saved, she could have been focusing on something else to grow the practice, or it saves the practice money, which then more than pays for this. So the ROI is there, docs. Look at these kind of tools and, changes, we change when the pain to change is less than the pain to stay the same. And I know it's uncomfortable to change sometimes, like, oh, I'm already using this. I got to learn something else. But within 3 weeks, everybody's up to speed. And now you're rocking it. You've got better tools and you're saving money and making more money. So give it a shot.
Yeah, no, like most of the time, people are just using the inbox in their current software. That's a competitor of
Mhm.
ours. So, like, to master an inbox, if you're under the age of 60, you can master it in 5 minutes. The rest of it, what we do is we'll just do 3 to 5 calls, ask them some questions, and based on their practice, we'll set up all of our automations and workflows. And then from
That's
there,
awesome.
it's pretty easy for someone to kind of master.
Okay. And how do they reach out to you? And do you have anything like a are you doing anything like a free consult or something to help them go,
We
oh,
just do
this
a
works?
free trial, right? Because, like, I've been on the other end of this where like you talk to like salespeople and they say it does all these things. So what we do is we just do a free trial. They could go to trackstat.org, TrackStat.org, go there. They could click watch a demo. There's a little demo over there. And then, if they want to learn more, they could just schedule a call. If they like it from there, they just have to sign a business associates agreement because we have access to their data. And then we'll usually do like a walkthrough call to make sure they could log in, find the help articles, find the videos. They'll usually have like one, two, or three things, like a problem that they wanted to solve. Let's say it's stats. It's like, okay, great. Give me like 2 or 3 stats. I'll show you how we calculate that. And then if they have, they want an integration with like go high level or they want appointment reminders. So we'll just show them a couple of things. Maybe they really want our mobile app, or maybe they're just really interested in our AI receptionist. So like we'll just go over kind of like how those things work and then let them play with it for a couple of weeks. And then most of the people, they just want to move forward within 20, 30 minutes of the first call. So then we just give them a discount on their first month. So,
Fantastic.
we keep it pretty simple and we try to make the decision really easy. And once they say yes, we just hold their hand and onboard it. We used to do videos and how-tos, and we just found that people, they don't want more work, they just want it working.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. And so if they try yours out and they've already got something else, does it interfere with the other one while they're trying yours out for the while before they decide to
No,
switch and just go?
no, you could run it concurrently because, like most of the time, you're going to have your EHR, you're going to have a credit card system, you're going to have your appointment reminder system. You may even have another one, as long as you're not sending text messages simultaneously to the same group of people. That's the only way you can mess it up. But I always tell people, like, you can't break it, play with it, click on stuff, do stuff. You're not going to really break anything.
Okay, sounds great. Well, hey guys, reach out. I think this is a great opportunity for you to, again, get your finger on the pulse of your practice even better, save money, and then leverage this to make more money with the patients you're already seeing.
Thanks for having me.